Hey everyone, and welcome to our deep dive today.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one.
We're going to explore a word that can be a little spooky,
Ooh, spooky.
a little mysterious.
I like mysterious.
The word haunted.
Ooh, yeah, I know that word.
Have you ever heard that word before?
I think so.
Maybe you've heard it used to describe an old house or a spooky story.
Oh, yeah, like a haunted house.
But did you know that haunted can also describe feelings?
Really?
It's true.
I didn't know that.
We're going to look at how this one word can have different meanings, and we're going to use a cool article
From where?
from Max English Coaching to help us.
Max English Coaching, I've heard of them.
They're great.
Yeah, they are.
That's right. You know, words are like little puzzles, and sometimes they can fit in different places and tell different stories. That's what makes them so interesting.
I like puzzles.
Me too. And this article gives us a great example to start with.
Okay, cool.
It tells a story about two people, Sam and Lisa, who are working late in their office.
Working late. Oh,
At a company called Beacon Biosciences. It's getting dark outside,
that sounds scary.
and things start to feel a little creepy.
I love a good creepy story. What happens next?
Well, the lights in the office start flickering on and off.
Oh, no, that's creepy.
And Sam says, "Why are the lights flickering again? This office feels haunted?"
Oh, so he's using the word haunted to describe the office because it feels a little spooky and strange, right?
Yeah, you got it. And it's interesting because haunted doesn't just mean a place has ghosts.
What else does it mean?
The article tells us that it comes from an old French word
Ooh la la.
that means to visit often.
To visit often. That's interesting. So it's like something keeps coming back even if you don't want it to.
Exactly. And in this case, it seems like whatever is haunting the office is causing the lights to flicker.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Now, Lisa gets a little freaked out at first.
I would too.
But then she makes a joke. She says, "Maybe the ghosts are just trying to tell us to go home."
Oh, that's funny. So even though haunted can describe something spooky, it can also be used in a lighthearted way, almost like a joke.
Yeah, I thought that was really clever of Lisa.
Yeah, me too.
And, you know, it makes me think about how we sometimes use words that have a scary meaning to make light of a situation.
Uh-huh.
Kind of like when we tell ghost stories around a campfire. We get a little thrill from the spookiness.
Yeah.
But deep down, we know it's all in good fun.
It is fun.
That's a great observation. It shows that even spooky words can be playful sometimes.
Sometimes.
But, you know, the idea of something visiting often is really interesting when we think about how haunted can also describe feelings.
Oh, that's right. The article talks about that too. It says that haunted can describe feelings that stick with you even if you want them to go away.
Exactly. It's like when you make a mistake and you keep thinking about it over and over again,
Uh-huh.
even though you wish you could just forget it.
Oh, yeah. I hate when that happens. It's like that feeling is visiting your thoughts over and over again, even when you don't want it to.
Exactly. So we've got this idea that haunted can describe a spooky place, but it can also describe a feeling that keeps coming back like a ghost in our minds. What do you think makes haunted different from other words we might use to describe something spooky, like scary or creepy?
That's a great question. All of those words can describe things that give us the chills, but haunted has this added layer of something lingering.
Right.
We're sticking around.
Good.
It's not just a quick scare. It's something that has a presence even if we can't see it, like a shadow that follows you.
That makes a lot of sense. Scary or creepy might describe a sudden fright, but haunted feels like something that hangs around for a while, like a mysterious fog that won't lift.
You got it. And that's what makes haunted such a powerful word. It has this depth to it, this sense of something more than just a fleeting moment of fear.
Yeah.
It's like a secret waiting to be uncovered.
That's such a good point.
Oh.
Okay, so we've got this image of haunted being like something that lingers. The article gives us a few more examples.
I love examples.
To help us understand this idea even better.
They help bring words to life, don't they?
They totally do. Let's take a look at a few of them together and see what we discover.
Okay, let's see what these examples can tell us.
The first one is pretty classic. The old hotel is haunted.
Ooh, that one like gives me chills. You know, we can almost picture it, right? An old hotel
Yeah.
with long, dark hallways and maybe like a few creaking doors.
Oh, yeah.
The kind of place where you might hear a strange noise and wonder if it's just the wind or something else.
Yeah, exactly. It makes you think about those stories we hear about haunted hotels with guests who check in but never check out.
Yeah. And in that example, haunted is describing like a real place, you know, a location that people say has ghosts or like supernatural happenings. It's like the setting for a spooky story come to life.
But then the next example takes us in a different direction. I am haunted by memories of my mistake.
Ah, this one is interesting. It's not about like a physical ghost in a building,
Right.
but a ghost in someone's mind. It's about the feeling of regret or guilt that sticks with you even when you try to move on.
It's like those memories keep coming back to visit even when you don't want them to, almost like they're trapped in your thoughts.
Exactly. And notice how much stronger that statement is compared to just saying, I made a mistake.
Right.
Saying, I am haunted by it suggests that the memory has like a real power over you, a lasting impact. It's like a weight you carry with you.
That's a really good point. It shows that haunted can describe something deep and emotional, not just something spooky on the surface.
You got it. Now, the last example the article gives us is the house looked haunted at night.
Ooh, this one sounds a bit mysterious. It makes me think of a dark, shadowy house with maybe some overgrown trees and maybe an owl hooting in the distance.
Right. And this example is interesting because it plays with our imagination. Is the house actually haunted with real ghosts inside, or does it just look haunted because of how it appears at night with the shadows and the stillness?
It's like we're left wondering if the feeling of being haunted is coming from the house itself or just from our own minds. Like maybe we're projecting our own fears and ideas onto the house.
That's a really fascinating thought. It shows how haunted can blur the lines between reality and perception, between what we actually see and what we feel.
So we're seeing how haunted can be used in a very literal sense, like when talking about a place with ghosts. But it can also be used in a more symbolic way to describe feelings or memories that linger and have a strong impact on us.
That's a great summary, and I think that's what makes haunted such a fascinating word to explore. It's not just about ghosts and ghouls. It's about the power of the past to influence our present, both in the physical world and in our own minds.
I totally agree. It's a word that makes you think about what might be lurking beneath the surface, both in the world around us and within our own hearts and minds.
It's kind of like an iceberg. We see the tip, the spooky house, the unsettling feeling, but there's a whole lot more beneath the surface. There's a history, a story, a reason why this place or this feeling is haunted.
Wow, that's a really powerful analogy. And it makes me think, just like we might want to explore a haunted house to uncover its secrets, maybe we need to explore our own haunted feelings to understand them better.
That's a brilliant insight, perhaps, by facing those haunted feelings, by understanding where they come from. We can learn to overcome them and find peace.
I love that idea. It's like instead of running away from the things that haunt us, we can turn and face them, learn from them, and maybe even find a way to make peace with them.
Exactly. It's like that old saying, the only way out is through. Sometimes the things that scare us the most can also teach us the most about ourselves.
Okay, so we've uncovered so much about the word haunted. We've seen how it can describe spooky places, lingering feelings, and even how we perceive the world around us.
We've seen how haunted can be both spooky and lighthearted, and how it can point to something deeper beneath the surface.
So what does all this mean for us? What can we take away from this deep dive into the word haunted? I think one of the biggest takeaways for me is that words are just incredibly powerful.
Like can be.
They can make us feel scared, curious, even a little bit playful, like we saw with Lisa's joke about the office ghosts.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Words paint pictures in our minds, evoke emotions, and help us understand the world around us. And haunted, with its multiple layers of meaning, is a perfect example of how a single word can hold so much, depth and nuance.
I totally agree. It's like haunted opens a door to a whole world of ideas and feelings, and thinking about haunted places and feelings makes me wonder, are there things in our own lives that we might be running away from instead of facing them head on?
That's a fantastic question. Maybe it's a fear of failure, a past hurt, or a dream we've put on hold, just like those haunted spaces we talked about. Those feelings can feel scary at first. But what if instead of avoiding them, we tried to understand them better?
It's like that saying, what we resist persists. Maybe if we try to understand those haunted parts of ourselves, they won't feel so scary anymore.
Exactly. Think about those ghost hunters who go into haunted houses. They don't just run away from the spooky noises or strange shadows. They try to learn about the history of the house, the stories of the people who live there, and maybe even communicate with the spirits.
That's a great point. So instead of running away from those haunted feelings, maybe we can approach them with curiosity, trying to understand their stories and what they might be trying to tell us.
You got it. It's like becoming a ghost hunter of our own hearts and minds. It might feel a little scary at first, but it can also be incredibly rewarding.
I love that analogy. And, exploring those haunted parts of ourselves can help us grow and learn. It can help us become more compassionate and understanding not just of ourselves, but of others too.
That's beautifully said because when we understand our own fears and struggles, we can better understand the fears and struggles of those around us.
Uh-huh.
It helps us connect on a deeper level and build stronger relationships.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into the word haunted, I'm left with this feeling of excitement and possibility. It's like haunted isn't just a word about spooky things. It's a word about facing our fears and embracing the unknown. It's about turning those haunted spaces into places of discovery and growth.
What a wonderful way to put it. And remember, you don't have to face those haunted places alone, just like those ghost hunters. It's always better to have a friend by your side, someone to share the journey with, someone to offer support and encouragement.
That's so important. So to our listener out there, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the world of haunted. We hope you learned something new and maybe even feel inspired to explore those haunted places within yourself. Remember, sometimes the most amazing discoveries are found in the places that scare us the most.
And remember to have fun along the way. After all, a little bit of mystery and a little bit of spookiness can make life a lot more interesting. Until next time, happy exploring.